Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Namo Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam. Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam Baba Nam Kevalam. Namaskar, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday online meditation and personal development sessions. My name is Gustavo or Krishnatma, and here in our channel Tantra Thoughts in our community of the Star Circle, we can help you have a better relationship with yourself and the universe through meditation techniques, tantric wisdom, personal development, and spiritual community. And that's exactly what we celebrate every Saturday here is our spiritual community. So let me go ahead and get started. And for anybody that might be new right now, I'm going to give our usual reminders that we do at the beginning of the broadcast. Today, by the way, is going to be a very, very special session because I'm going to have a guest after our guided meditation. And I'll tell you more about that during the agenda. But right now, I want to remind anybody who might be new to go ahead and register in our email list. If you register, you get a free ebook And that ebook is on the yamas and niyamas. So right now I'm going to go ahead and put this link for you in the chat. And you definitely want to go ahead and we practice these 10 principles very closely in our community. They're very important to us because we know that they're not only just prerequisites for meditation, but prerequisites for peace, internal peace, and then peace within the world and community. So I highly recommend you to be reading about those 10 principles. Make sure you have a cushion handy for when it's time to meditate, and obviously find your best place to fully be present with us this morning, and announce yourself in the chat. So tell us the highlight of your week. Tell us how many times you've been here before. Okay, especially if you've been here less than 4 times, we'd love to know what session this is for you. Okay, so let's go ahead now and get into that. So I see some people have joined. I see that Maz is here. Namaskar. Namaskar, Maz. It's so great to have you. Please tell us where you're joining us from and how many times you've been here before. That would be wonderful. Thanks for being here. I see Karen has joined. She says, Namaskar from chilly, rainy Greenville, Tennessee. The highlight of my week has been studying Inner Engineering by Sadhguru in yoga teacher training. Wow, that's great. So congratulations. You are going forward with your yoga teacher training. That sounds awesome. Namaskar. Tell us then, what are some of the insights that you've been gaining through that program? And we have Graciela from Woodbridge. Namaskar, Graciela. It's so nice to have you here. The highlight of your week was speaking with Chiquita. Okay, so Chiquita in our, I'm not sure if you mean Chi or Chiquita. We have we have 2 members. There's Chiquita, who lives actually in Virginia, and then there's Chi, who is our first lesson coordinator. She's the person that helps to coordinate people in our community getting their first tantric meditation lesson. The one we teach here is a preliminary lesson. It's very powerful, okay? But definitely you want to get the first lesson, because that first lesson involves prescribing to you a personal mantra. And today we're going to talk all about that, actually, because my guest today is the teacher who would teach you all online free of charge that meditation lesson. So I'm super excited to have him here. I'm excited to hear whatever questions people have about that lesson and that initiation process. So, and Graciela, you're up for that lesson. So today you're going to meet the teacher in advance. Okay. So I'm glad you're here. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Chi that you were speaking with. Okay. So just let me know. And Ma says, I just finished my university exam application. That sounds exciting. And I see that you are from Bahrain. Wow, that is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. And last question for you. Is this, oh yes, and this is your first time. Excellent. So now I want to invite everybody, please, to put some hearts into the chat so that we can welcome Maz. All right, so everybody please go ahead and put 5 hearts into the chat. And this is just, because Maz, if we were in person, right, everybody would come up and probably give you like a namaskar and have a chat with you. But we're doing this virtually. So if everybody could please put in 5 hearts into the chat just to welcome Maz, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. And I see that Karen is here, and Karen is also new. So namaskar, Karen. Everybody, please also put your hearts into the chat for Karen from beautiful Vancouver, Canada, which I've never been to, but that's definitely one of the places that I would love to visit. It's so nice to have you here, Karen and Maz. And today's session is even more helpful because you are going to learn about this meditation lesson that you have access to learning through our community, if you'd like. Later, I will talk about the requirements, but right now I can just say one of the requirements is to attend online meditation 4 times. That's the first eligibility requirement. Okay, so today you'll learn all about that, about what kind of meditation we offer here. That's the whole point of today's session. So welcome, Karen. It's wonderful to have you here. And we have Alicia Namaskar from Asheville, North Carolina. Namaskar, Alicia. It's so beautiful to have you join us today. I hope you're doing well. Tell us how life has been treating you this past week. And yeah, Graciela, I figured it was Chi. Okay. And then those are some hearts for Maz and Karen. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Karen, for welcoming Maz and Karen. And I see Tim has joined. And Tim is giving some love. Welcome, Tim. Namaskar. How many times have you joined us before, Tim? Please let us know, okay? And I know that you are in North Carolina, near Asheville. I hope you don't mind me saying all that about you, but it's great to have you here. Just tell us how many times you've been here before. More love from Alicia, probably for either Karen and Maz. And we have Maria here. Namaskar, Maria. Thanks for joining. Thanks for giving your love. How many sessions is this for you now? Is this your 4th session? If it is, it means you are officially ready for first lesson. Okay, so but there's one more requirement, and why not say it now? The last requirement is to read the ebook and to start practicing those yamas and niyamas, and to start writing into our group at least once a post on your reflections on those 10 principles. It could be, what would be even more ideal is if you start practicing them and then you write about your experiences practicing them. Okay, so keep that in mind, Maria. I invite you to write in our group about the yamas and niyamas. And Christina is here. Namaskar, Christina. I'm not sure how many times you've been here before. Well, you are pretty almost a sadhaka, right? Somebody who's been in Vistara Circle for 2 years and has completed our program. And so Christina, I'm looking forward to your advancement interview in the near future. You've been here for over 2 years. So thank you so much for bringing your love and energy here. And she's also the one who sends our emails out. So thank you, Christina. Glad that you've joined us today. And Tim from Burnsville. Okay, just up the road from Asheville. Awesome. Awesome. And it is your first time live. Well, wonderful. So everybody, please now help me welcome Tim. Okay, if you could all put 5 hearts or as many hearts as you'd like for Tim, then please let's go ahead and do that to welcome him. I'm so happy you've joined, Tim. Today's session, like I was saying, is really helpful for you to really understand what kind of meditation we teach and practice, because that's what we're going to be focusing on later today. And we have Zulal saying namaskar. Wow, I think you are also new, Zulal. So please tell us how many times you've been here and where you're joining us from. It's wonderful to have you. Simran is here. Namaskar, dear sister. It's so wonderful to have you join us from India. Is this your first time? Please let us know. And we have Alicia saying, I booked a tour to Ireland. Wow, that sounds great. July 8th, Ireland. That is going to be amazing. Congratulations. What is taking you to Ireland? Let us know. Let's see here. Maz says, you might remember my email. My name is Masuma. Oh, okay. Masuma, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you've joined. Okay, and where are you joining us from? Let us know. I think you're in India. Tell us what part of India you're joining us from. Karen says, one of the most profound things I've learned this week is if you go outward, it's an endless journey. If you turn inward, it's actually just one continuous moment, and life becomes an endless expression of joyfulness. I like what you're saying there. You know, I believe that if you go outward, the journey is shorter. Because when you go outward, you get confronted with the finite things of life, our small relationships, our worldly preoccupations. Actually, when you go inward, it's an endless journey. So thanks for sharing that. That's a wonderful insight to be gaining. And look at that, Masuma is already sending love back. Thank you, Masuma, for giving your love back here. Karen says, I'm studying yoga teacher training, hoping to dive into teaching children in my travels. I welcome you to Vancouver, British Columbia. You would love it. Namaskar. Ooh, thank you so much. I'm sure that I would love Vancouver. And that's so cool that you want to work with children. And you're also doing yoga teacher training. That's wonderful. So go ahead and also share an insight from that for us, please. And there's more love from Alicia. Simran also giving her love. And love coming back from Karen. That's wonderful. You are welcome, Tim. He says, thank you. Thank you for being here. Oh, Karen is from Burnsville. What a cool coincidence. That's awesome. And Bebe welcoming people again. Karen giving more love. Thank you, everybody. Tim saying it's a small world. So Zulal, this is your first session. Welcome. Can everybody please give some love to Zulal? Let's make sure Zulal feels welcome. Let's put some hearts into the chat for this wonderful, wonderful person who has joined. Tell us where you're joining us from, please. And Simran, this is your first time. So those hearts that you put in will also go to Simran. It's so nice to have all these new people here. Thank you for bringing your energy. This is only going to be special because you've come and you've added your time and energy to our session today. So thank you for doing that. There's some love from Andra. Thank you. And Alicia says, I mentioned the date because I don't want to miss any retreats that may come up. No problem, Alicia. We most likely will not have any retreats till the fall. Okay? So don't worry about that. And the way out is in. That's also true. Thank you, Moss. So I feel very connected with the culture and the beauty of the country. Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure it'll be wonderful visiting Ireland. So thank you, everybody, for putting in these wonderful hearts and welcoming Zulal and welcoming Karen and Simran. So, Zulal, you are in Istanbul, Turkey. That is awesome. So I want to invite everybody. We're going to go on now and take a look at the agenda. And I want everybody to remember where our community members are joining us from today. And our first timers, our visitors, Istanbul, India, Burnsville, North Carolina, all these places around the world. And because after our meditation, we take a moment to visualize everybody where they are and send them some love and light. So keep that in mind, okay, where everybody is in the world. So we just did the reminders and the greetings. Next, we're going to sing some kirtan. I'll explain what that is. And then we're going to have guided meditation. And today, there is no class. It's an interview, and it's a discussion with Acharya, which is a title for a teacher, a meditation teacher, with Acharya Dhyanesh. He is a wonderful, wonderful teacher that is graciously offering to teach the meditation that we offer online. Before, you had to meet with your teacher in person, but he is teaching it through Zoom, and it's all free of charge. And today, you get to learn all about what that lesson entails, how it benefits you, why it's important, okay? So that's what we're going to be chatting about after meditation. Now, let's go ahead and explain how to do kirtan. So for those folks that are new, like Karen, Simran, Zulal, maybe you've seen this mantra come up in the channel in Tantra Thoughts. or in Vistara circle. So we are going to sing this mantra. I will play for you the music. You may have already done kirtan before in your life. The mantra means the supreme consciousness is all there is, or only the feeling of infinite love. So it's a very spiritual mantra. It can, especially if you want that ideation, if you want to go with the one that says that supreme consciousness is all there is. So we're talking about that supreme entity, God, source, or infinite love is all there is. So as you listen to the mantra and as you sing along, go ahead and start to visualize that supreme consciousness or infinite love. Go ahead and start to feel it inside of you, all around you. Start to make that connection so that you have a very devotional and mystical meditation that will follow, because you will already be sort of opening up to that divinity, and actually kind of almost like inviting that divine to come to you right now, and more directly, because the divine is always coming to you all the time. But now it's like a special invitation. Come here now, please. You can encapsulate that feeling, that longing in this mantra. So I invite you to sing along with that sentiment in mind, or to just listen to it with, feeling like you are making that invitation and that connection. Okay? So give that a shot. Go ahead and sit comfortably. Take your hands and interlace your fingers and place your hands on your lap. If you've been prescribed a personal mantra through our program, then today you can meditate with that mantra. And go ahead and monitor your lower back. Make sure it's nice and straight. Monitor the upper back. Make sure it is also nice and straight. Allow your body to be the temple for your meditation. Allow your body to be still and comfortable. And go ahead now and find your breathing. And as you inhale, expand the abdominal area. And as you exhale, go ahead and relax your shoulders, relax your muscles. You can breathe into any parts of the body that have any tension. And as you breathe out, feel that that tension gets relaxed. Experience the air coming in as though you are experiencing the divine permeating all of your cells, nourishing your organs. And as you breathe out, feel your own divinity. As you breathe in, feel your body and mind nourished by the divine. And as you breathe out, just feel your soul. Breathing in, point your body and your mind toward the soul. Breathing out, feel your soul. Feel your essence. And on your next exhalation, go ahead and feel that you let go of the world. And on your next exhalation, feel that you let go of your body. You put the world on pause. Put the body on pause. And start practicing being the observer of your thoughts. And practice letting them go. And on your next exhalation, just focus on your consciousness. Observe that you observe. Become aware that you are aware. Be cognizant of your consciousness. And feel that your consciousness is like a drop of water that falls into the ocean. And so you merge with the infinite consciousness. Allow that effort to be encapsulated by the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam. And so go ahead and start to repeat the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam silently to yourself. Each time making the effort to dissolve your unit self and merge with the infinite. It can help to visualize that supreme consciousness as a loving parent and you a loving child, taking shelter in that divine parent. So continue meditating the mantra silently to yourself for a few more minutes, and I will cue you when it is time to come back. go ahead and start to come back. Come back with an appreciation for the mind and the body, an appreciation for the time and space, the opportunity to have the type of mind and body that can contemplate the infinite. And so feel blessed and feel empowered to fulfill your destiny. And before we open the eyes, go ahead, please, and picture everybody in our online session now, meditating from all over the world, from India to North Carolina, all of our sisters and brothers here, and visualize all in a circle holding hands, and picture love and light flow all throughout that circle, illuminating each person's physical, mental, and spiritual being. And so send your love and light to each person. And we can go ahead and start to open the eyes. So, namaskar, everybody. Welcome back. Now I am super excited to introduce to you in just a moment our special guest, who is one of our dear teachers here in our Vistara Circle and in our community. His name is Acharya Dhyanesh. And why don't I bring him on into the stream? Here he is. Namaskar, Dhyanesh.
Namaskar, everybody.
Hang on one second, please. Let me just readjust here for a second. And okay, so thank you so much for joining us, Dinesh, from Austin, Texas. I'll just say a little bit about Dinesh. He's been a meditation teacher for many, many years, obviously a meditation practitioner for many, many years. Many of you have already met him. Your students are probably here online right now, those that you've initiated, you've given this first lesson to. And there's many new people here who are curious about what this could entail in their life. So if you don't mind, Dinesh, why don't I just start by asking you not only how are you, but also what has meditation meant in your life? I'm curious, we're all curious. So many years of you doing this practice, what has it meant for you?
Well, meditation just gives you a wonderful foundation in life. It's a practice, it's a discipline for our minds, and it's helped me tremendously in life. You know, they call it intuitional practices. So I felt guided so many times in my life because I practice my meditation morning and evening. It's like there's something really great inside all of us that we rarely experience in life. And call it ananda, call it this joy, call it love, but it's something really higher and greater. Spiritual, it's spiritual meditation. So just getting closer to that, or having experiences of being guided in life is a wonderful thing. Um, so it's a process, though, that we're all going through, knowingly or unknowingly. It's better to have a nice system, a nice method of practices, a scientific system of practices from ancient times that I fortunately was able to learn and practice, and then was taught how to teach. So,
Mhm. I really like that you said that. I mean, so everybody is in that evolutionary flow, right?
right,
So meditation just helps to accelerate that flow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what kind of meditation do you teach, and how can it benefit someone's life? Give us a
Well,
little more detail about that, please.
yeah. So it's spiritual meditation, meaning, even Einstein, the greatest scientist, said the universe is conscious, and that's something, so we're part of something really great. We're in this divine drama right now, and so the meditation I teach um, has ancient roots, um, and it's really in all the religions and all the different cultures. You'll find this in the mystical branch about. Well, they'll give it different names, like samadhi in yoga, but in Buddhism they'll call it satori and nirvana. In Christianity they called it ecstatic union or spiritual marriage or this unitive way. So there's something really great in us. So um, so um, it has to do with our psychology. It's physical, it's mental, and it's spiritual.
Mhm.
And it's getting in touch with something really great inside of us. That's deep and higher that we don't always experience. It's a really great joy or love is there. The soul to its source is another way of saying it. So, yeah, and there's different names of the actual science: Ashtanga yoga, Tantra yoga, um, Ananda Marga yoga, the path to bliss. But they're just names. I think it's the same path inside every one of us. It's just a great science.
Okay. Thank you. And here you were. I think you were listening in on the Bhavanam Kevalam meditation we were doing.
Yeah, yeah,
So I know some people that they've been practicing with Bhavanam Kevalam now for some time, like say through our program. And but now what you would offer them is a personal mantra. Bhavanam Kevalam is a universal mantra. So
yeah.
why would you recommend somebody getting a personal mantra as opposed to the universal mantra?
Well, it's more individually prescribed. Um, the universal mantra, Bhavanam Kevalam, is wonderful. And it's chanted to many melodies around the world. Baba means beloved father in a lot of ancient languages. And it's referring to this higher loving presence, this inner guru, this inner, where we're all connected. It's like a layer of God's consciousness connects with each one of us. And Na means the one to identify with, and Kevala means only you. So you're concentrating your mind on that inner higher one, and just thinking about that will expand your mind and heart. But when you learn your own personal prescribed meditation, it's usually just 2 syllables. And there's only a few of these sacred mantras that were somehow empowered over the thousands of years by these enlightened beings that were channels of this higher consciousness for us, the historical gurus. The real guru is God, and we all have our own personal inner connection. The inner guru is the most important thing. But through history, there have been individuals that were in that state of consciousness and tried to teach those practices, that scientific system of practices. And there are certain sounds, mantras, that have a vibrational effect on our minds also. And the meaning, of course, just like Baba Nam Kevalam. So they're kind of vibrated, these sounds. They're empowered, they say, when they were in this higher state of consciousness, Buddha, Christ, Krishna, and they use the same ones. And so I was taught formulas of how to prescribe different mantras and chakras, focal points for different people. It's quite an interesting science, spiritual sound. And so to help you connect internally. So it's just more effective. It's just, getting closer. It's just the next step. It's like we're always going to the next step. How can I keep on getting closer, getting higher, becoming more fulfilled. So yeah, it's great. Everyone has their own personal password or link to the nucleus of the universe then. And it is very powerful. It is very effective for our minds. I don't know if I answered your question or not. These are subtle questions.
Yeah, definitely. I like that you say it's like the next step, in any path, any tradition, anything you're doing, you're always advancing, right? And so, and that would definitely apply for one's spiritual life, always getting more and more subtle, which is why actually this first lesson is one of 6, right? So the system of meditation that you teach, people have access to 6 lessons that they would get with you over time. And just tell me if you think this sounds right. When you start practicing a mantra in your life, the effect that can have in one's life, like you're always repeating that word, right? That phrase, the same phrase every day, let's say for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, every day, you're ideating on that, repeating that. I mean, imagine how, if you do that, how that can change your life, say in a week of practicing that, and then in a month, and then in a year, and then over several years. I mean, what does that concentrated thinking do for a person, especially thinking something like that, like um, thinking, I am that supreme consciousness, or whatever subtle meaning the mantra has. But what effect do you think that has on someone's life?
Yeah, you definitely feel more connected,
Mhm.
guided more. And, we do it at a minimum of twice a day, morning and evening. But the last thoughts before you go to sleep, the first ones when you wake up, and it kind of will stay with you then throughout the day. Instead of
Mhm.
just reacting the way you always react with your personalities, um, you take a deep breath. You do your mantra. You feel connected. You respond from a higher level. This is another way that we're cleaning our minds and our hearts, refining our hearts. Because, well, there's 2 ways: externally in interaction and internally in the meditation. And then even through the night, you end up having a deeper sleep and needing to sleep less.
Mhm.
Because you're more connected then. But this all takes time, and everyone has their own path. But at least you have the tools then that you get more and more tools in
Uh-huh.
your toolbox, your spiritual toolbox.
Yeah. So, I want to invite people to start asking questions into the chat. Okay. In a moment, we're going to get to our community members' questions here. Let me ask you, for those that would be ready to get the meditation, which, by the way, there's just some simple requirements that we have just to remind folks. Number one, coming here 4 times to our online meditations, and then practicing the yamas and niyamas, and at least writing about your experience, at least writing once, making one post in our Facebook group about your experience, reflecting on those concepts or practicing those concepts, which would be even better. And then we have now a coordinator that helps to coordinate the next initiation session. And Dinesh, can you just provide like an overview of what that initiation process takes place the day that they get to that meeting with you and some other folks? An overview of that, please.
Well, this is an ancient format, and to get your personal prescribed meditation practice, it's the inner guru, the higher one, that's actually, hopefully, I'm just an agent of doing, and but it's an ancient format where, like you said, the foundation is, I call it Jama Niyama or Yama Niyama, which is the code of ethics or your morality, how to live life. This is very important. If you're outer world, if your life's not together, you're not going to get very far in the inner world. So even though you all have maybe studied that, I have to go over that again, each one of those a bit in that session. And then I talk about the universe, the layers of the cosmic mind, the layers of the macrocosmic mind, and the layers of the microcosmic mind inside of us, chakras and our air channels. And, this, I briefly get into that whole science because it also enhances this experience. And mantra and yantra is a spiritual symbol that will also help in meditation, another tool that we go over in that session. And then I talk about the 3 different phases of meditation, how to withdraw your mind from the outer world and from the body to a certain point, and then even from the past and the future to just in the present. The whole idea of meditation is to consolidate. Our minds are so restless and they're all over the place. They call it the monkey mind, really these brain waves, and so you want to gather up your mind and get it really one pointed and focused. And so I'll go over a lot of that, how to do that, the visualizations and everything. And then each person in a breakout room, I'll give your individual mantra and chakra and go over the process a little bit again. And actually, we'll even talk about how to end meditation, something called puja, which is also very valuable.
Yeah, we also used to practice that more here at the online sessions. We would close doing this sort of puja, releasing the burdens of the mind. Thanks for that. If anybody has any more questions, just put them in the chat, okay, while we still have some time. And I see some of your students are here. They are, we'll get to those comments in a second. One last question from me. What are some challenges you've seen in all your years as a teacher that people have practicing meditation? And what are some good recommendations to overcome them?
Oh, well, the challenges I see people have are the same challenges that all of us human beings have, which is our very restless minds, our very distracted minds, our past traumas. All of this is some healing that happens. Lethargy is a big one. Stress is a really big one that people have to deal with. We all have to manage these things, but now we're getting more and more tools how to do it. The crazy mind. Drugs is a big one, whatever shape or form that might take. And those addictions are really hard to get over. I have a way of describing that. Like sometimes they actually may be a medicine in the very beginning sometimes, but they become a real
crutch.
you need more and more of it. It's a downward spiral as time goes on. Whereas in yoga and meditation, it's a natural process of strengthening the nerves and glands, and you just get higher and higher. And sometimes you have a visitation of a saint, So, yeah, definitely we all have challenges, no doubt.
So what I'm hearing you say is that more so than the challenges of getting the technique down, it's just the challenges of life.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And that will interfere with your meditation practice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 It would be nice then to train ourselves to think that my practice is not just for when I'm in my optimal mode, my practice is deeper than even the technique. Maybe it's just my connection with the divine, right? And so if I'm ever having these experiences in life that are challenging, whether I'm meditating or not, I go straight to the divine for shelter. And having enough experience meditating probably already sets up your mind to just have that instinct now, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then, of course, trying to do the practice as a way to connect with the divine.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You get more guidance. And things will definitely come up. So many conflicts will come up. And that's part of our cleaning process.
Mm-hmm.
There's an inner cleaning process. You do that with each breath, with each mantra. It's actually so good for us. But externally too, how not to react, how to respond from a higher level, you end up being guided. It's really pretty wonderful process. Even though it's not easy. It's great.
Well, Dinesh, so there's some comments here.
Okay.
Well, we have Julie tuned in. That's great. Finally made it. Wonderful. Glad you joined, Julie. And she also said, thank you for reminding me of the existence of the infinite. I didn't do anything. The infinite is appearing in your life all the time. So thanks for sharing that. And we're all here together to celebrate that. And Christina says, Namaskar, Dinesh. And Karen says, Dinesh initiated me. Good to see you. And she sends you a heart and a namaskar. And Peggy says, can you describe your first spiritual experience using a mantra?
Wow. That'll have to take me way back. Well, yeah, early on in my practicing yoga meditation, I actually had a dream where I did my second lesson mantra, pretty powerful mantra you use before every action, and then my first lesson mantra, they call it the Ishta mantra, that 2-syllable with the breath. And somehow I was doing it in the dream. And somehow I bypassed my conscious mind and went from the subconscious mind to the superconscious mind. I got absorbed up into that infinite loving presence that's always there.
That's pretty cool.
It was really cool, actually. I woke up and I was like, whoa, I was completely changed. But I had to ask some questions before I went to sleep. I went to sleep while doing meditation, so that was part of it.
And then you kept meditating
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your dreams. Wow, that's pretty cool.
it was really nice, and yeah, it kind of changed my life.
That could save some time, right?
Yeah, I got onto a different path in my life after that.
Hmm. Okay. Thanks for the question, Peggy. And that's really, really nice to know, Dinesh. I hope I can say my mantra more in my dreams now. So Masuma says, do we have to be Hindu to say mantras and practice all this?
No, of course not. In fact, yoga does not consider itself a religion. Religions are based on beliefs, and yoga and meditation is like a science of practices from thousands of years of practicing in our own laboratories, our own minds and bodies, what works and what doesn't work. That's why the yoga exercises are even called after animals. The yogi's watching how a cat cures himself, or whatever. And because we share some of the same glands and nerves. But no, it's not a religion, and in fact, it's in all religions, like I mentioned before. So no, I mean, the ancient Christians definitely meditated. It gets distorted. A lot of these practices in the religions get kind of distorted over the thousands of years, and it becomes dogmatic with irrational beliefs even. And we try to stay above that in yoga meditation to just the science of it. Even though you go beyond the intellect's real important. So you have a understanding of it. It's got to be rational. It's got to be scientific. Otherwise, human beings are so easily misguided by not just religions, but by politicians throughout history.
Hmm.
So, you can find similar practices in all the religions and all the cultures, but yoga and meditation is not a religion. And the religious part of it, your religious background, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism,
Hmm.
you can find some of it there. But no, this is something a lot more. It's the real science of it. In fact, all the religions started from this inner direct experience. This inner direct experience that we all should be seeking with these spiritual practices.
Yeah. Right, right. Christ was first a mystic, right? Kind of rebelling against some of the perhaps dogmas in Judaism and the society as well. And then later, and starts off by, inviting people to look within for the kingdom of heaven. And then later after he's gone, now religions are formed around those beliefs with different agendas and new dogmas. Does that sound right?
Yeah, more or less. After the great ones left, the ones
Hmm.
that actually were a more pure conduit of that higher one, yeah, a lot of stuff got heaped on. Yeah, so even when you're reading any scripture of any religion, try to get beyond those dogmas and get to the essence. That's what I call the mystical core. This inner personal relationship we have.
Uh-huh.
I like religions, and it's different cultures too, and indigenous cultures also. I studied with Tibetans. I studied with the Zen Buddhists in Kyoto, Japan. I studied with the Hopi elders in Hopi, and the Mayans, and And my own ancestry, there's a lot of Christian mysticism from the Middle East.
Hmm.
My mother's uncle was the patriarch of all the monasteries of the Middle East. So I got to read a lot of mystical Christianity that didn't get into the Bible or was taken out of the Bible. So, but most of my training was in India, and but not
Yeah.
Hinduism, even though, because what also happens in religions, they make the original preceptor, whether it's Christ or Krishna, they make them
Mhm.
into the only way. Uh, yeah, they were divine beings, but that divinity's inside each of us, is what they're trying to say.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Masuma here is saying, how can I let go of all my beliefs and start new ones?
Well, no, good question. You don't have to let go of the good beliefs. You got to let go of the ones that are not enhancing your spiritual development. That are a lot of these religious beliefs are dividing humanity, divisive. We're the only chosen people. This is the only way. Only men. Only, if you read these or do that, it's like this is so narrow, very narrow sentiments that you'll find in a lot of religions. Those are the dogmatic beliefs that are not conducive to our real spiritual expansion of love and this inner joy. So to get close to that. And you're not gaining more beliefs, really. Like I said, it's more practices. It's a scientific system of practices. You practice and you see for yourself what works and what doesn't. There are different yoga asanas for different people, because some people, they're having issues with different glands. Some people, it's their anger and their fears, which has to do with the adrenals and the glands around that chakra. And some people, it's more yeah, different mental complexes and worries and vanities, and it has more to do with the heart chakra. So it's a biological science that goes with these subtle spiritual practices.
Yeah. I like how you approach that. Certainly, a community, can consolidate around beliefs, but what's more important, what brings people to the communities is more the individual who wants to practice, these new things, or who actually do the practices, right? So that's a really nice way to approach it, Masuma.
And so we say practices, that means it's practical. So if you ask a yogi a question, well, should I this or should I that, or what about this? And it's not a matter of the belief system. And if the person that practices yoga meditation doesn't know the answer, quite often you'll get this reply: let me go practice, and I'll come back to you with the answer. I'll see if it works or doesn't work. I'll use my own laboratory to see if this food or ingredient or mental or whatever works or doesn't work. See how practical it really is then.
Yeah. Right. So thank you, Dinesh. We have some more questions here, and thank you, Masuma, for your question. Gloria says namaskar, and then Masuma was just clarifying the beliefs that she was forced to acquire growing up. And
Sure.
we can take maybe one last comment. Karen here says, I feel like this has been almost a specific answer to a thought or prayer I've had for over a week, to contact Dinesh to ask him more questions and further expansion of my Initial initiation.
Good.
Okay. Good. So did you get some insight here? Did you get something answered here, perhaps that you didn't need to actually ask Karen? If not, maybe you definitely have Dinesh's contact, right? Maybe as we're closing too, we can get one last question. Let's do one last question here. Zulal says, "Is there any mantra which can help to find us the reason of our existence?"
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. And that will be the Ishta mantra that you will get in your first lesson, and the mantra you get in your second lesson. Both of them have that very powerful understanding, the reason of our existence. When we do that first session, we'll talk about the circle of creation and why we're here also. What's our reason for existence, which is, the ultimate question: who am I and why am I here, sort of thing. The ultimate human question. That's a very, very interesting topic.
What you're asking here, Zulal, should be like the title of, like, let's say, this whole initiation process, like, come get a mantra to understand, the reason of your existence. so
Yeah, right.
If you want to get that, then definitely, get this personal mantra that Dinesh can prescribe to you. Okay, so I think this is exactly what you're looking for. And so we can go ahead and start to close. There's going to be more of Dinesh that you can have access to once you meet with him. The beautiful thing about having an acharya, because if he teaches you this meditation lesson, he would become your acharya, your teacher. And so the beautiful thing about having an acharya is that you get to develop a relationship with them over time, get more lessons, talk about your practice. Also, he's somebody to confide in, with not just spiritual issues, but even physical, mental issues. So it's not just like you come, you get this lesson, and that's it. You actually enter into a relationship, not just a deeper relationship with yourself and the universe, but also with a teacher, and like your teacher within the larger community, so that's a very exciting process, and I'm excited for everybody that would go on that journey with Dinesh. So thank you so much, Dinesh, for joining us this week. We want to have you back here sometime soon. Okay. And if anybody has any more questions for him or about this process, just contact, go into our Facebook group. I'll put the link here and you can get any more info that you'd like. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead now and close. Namaskar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We love you very much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday. Take care.